Harvard is number one, okay? Alright? So let's graduate and we're successful in America. Okay? But it's not just rich people, it's everyone in the American elite. Right? Most of them are graduates of the elite university. Okay? So this is an article in Nature, and they looked at all the elites in America. And what we discovered is most of them went to certain schools, the elite university, and this is what's causing a lot of global conflict in America today. Right? So let's just look at what they found. So one is Harvard graduate. Okay? The green of Harvard plus Ivy League. And as you can see, Harvard everywhere, even among generals, admirals, there's Harvard people. Okay? They dominate in terms of philosophers and professors, but they're everywhere. Even George Heisman, billionaire, New York Times bestselling authors, Fortune 500 CEOs, federal judges, senators, okay? They're everywhere. So that's how Harvard. This is a portion of Harvard graduates compared to the general population. This is a portion of Harvard graduates compared to the elite. Okay? You see the concept. So Harvard has dominant America today. Now, what's amazing here is Harvard people don't know if they dominate Harvard. They don't literally. So they need a survey. People in the organization, how many people do you think in the organization went to Harvard and other universities? So the red is the actual number, the blue is the estimate. So Harvard, that is, don't even know if they dominate America. Okay? And you ask them like, no, it's conspiracy theory. No, he's pretty conspiracy theory. We're just average people. There's no way Harvard controls America. Now,
Un ruso real es un ruso feliz.
Harvard is not now. You have to join the elite circus club, the secret society. So Harvard is like the Harvard, everyone's joined a porcelain club, okay? At Right.
Ay, dije mi iPad. Dije mi iPad. No. ¿Me alcanzas? No, no.
Princeton is the Ivy Club. Yeah, these are secret societies, but they're not really secret, but just right. What's amazing is Harvard. This is a portion of Harvard graduates compared with the general population. This is a portion of Harvard graduates compared with the elite. Okay, you see the contrast. So Harvard and Ivy League dominate America today. Now, what's amazing? Harvard people don't know they dominate Harvard. They don't know they're elite. So they did a survey. So they asked people in this organization, how many people do you think in this organization went to Harvard and other universities? So the red is the actual number, the blue is the estimate. So Harvard actually know they dominate America. Okay? And you ask them like, no, it's conspiracy theory. No, it's really conspiracy theories. We're just average people. There's no way Harvard controls America.
Tax expertise.
No tiene gracia, Doc.
Switch to a total tax expert. For $150. All tax situations, all returns. $150, all days. No surprises. Now this is taxes.
Ancient civilizations used a Wakamoye to predict the winners of their ball game. I see a strong start. A dip.
Right? Now, as I mentioned, at Harvard, this one at Harvard is not enough.
Informe de situación. El punto de inserción dimensional no era correcto. Llegamos tarde. Richtofen interrumpió la continuidad establecida. Lo que pasa después es incierto. Agentes aliados desaparecidos. No me queda otra opción que continuar la misión solo.
Secret, but the senior society. The club that everyone's joining. At Yale, it's Skull and Bones. Okay, Skull and Bones is the most famous call it secret society. They're not that secret because they like to brag that they're strong bone. They're so powerful that they produce a lot of presidents, a lot of rich people. Okay, 2004. Okay, George W. Bush versus John Kerry. Guess what, guys? John Kerry is the Democratic nominee. George Bush is the Republican nominee, right? They're both strong bone. They're both Yale strong bone. Okay, so it's a rigged game. But Barack Obama, okay? Barack Obama, Columbia, went to Harvard Law School, but he promised hope and change. He told people in 2008 that the game is rigged against him, that he'll be the champion, that he would make America more clear. Okay? And he won. Why? Because so this is book.
Identificación positiva de 115 en la zona. Como era de esperarse, me falla la memoria. Incapaz de determinar la cantidad actual de saltos hasta esta ubicación. 2 al menos, quizá más.
Because the U.S. banks, the U.S. global system was controlled by Ivy League graduates, by just people who were friends with each other. And so they cheated. They became corrupt. Okay? They basically destroyed the American economy. And people protested against all of this. And Barack Obama promised that he'd come in and do something about it. Well, he did do something about it. Right? So his academic team, he appointed quite a few individuals. These are two most famous. Larry Summers, who was a Harvard graduate as well as the president of Harvard. And he was Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton, and he was the guy who created the net in the first place. And then Tim Geithner, who was a Dartmouth graduate, and he was the Treasury Secretary, okay? So these are friends of Wall Street who came in to save Wall Street. So a lot of critics say, it's Wall Street who created this mess, to destroy the American economy, they should be punished. Or at least they should feel some pain. If you just let them go and help them out and save them, then you should have called Paul moral hazard. Maybe moral hazard is, if you don't have any consequences for your mistake, you will do it again. Okay? And then there is Summers that, no, you guys are seeing it incorrectly. We have to save the American economy. The goal is not to save the bank and my friends. The goal is to save the American people and the American economy. And that's what we're doing. Okay. And giving them free money. Okay? And then the critics were like, well, how about all these American homeowners who lost their homes? Shouldn't we help them as well? And you know what Larry Summers said? Moral hazard, guys. You understand? Moral hazard? If we help out these ordinary Americans, we won't learn anything. Okay? So, as you can see, people were angry. The banks got saved, the people got screwed over. And guess what, guys? Because of this, who did we get? This guy. Okay? This is why he won. There were millions of Americans who voted for Barack Obama because he promised hope and change. And then they voted for Donald Trump because he promised to destroy the system. That's why we have Donald Trump. Now, funny story about Donald Trump and Barack Obama. So Barack Obama and Donald Trump were always adversaries. In fact, Donald Trump led a movement which accused Barack Obama of not being born in America. He's born in America, but Donald Trump is saying no, he was actually born in Nigeria because his father is Nigerian. So Barack Obama made fun of Donald Trump. In 2011, there's a big dinner, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where Barack Obama gets on stage and makes fun of Donald Trump. Because who did we get? Because he promised to fund. So Barack Obama and Donald Trump were always adversaries. In fact, Donald Trump led a movement.
Informe de situación. El punto de inserción dimensional no era correcto. Llegamos tarde. Richtofen interrumpió la continuidad establecida. Lo que pasa después es incierto. Agentes aliados desaparecidos. No me queda otra opción que continuar la misión solo.
Okay? He said, hey, regardless of everything present, this is what the White House looks like. We could see it. Okay? And this is funny, right? Donald Trump was in the audience that day. And everyone was laughing at him. And that's what motivated Donald Trump to become president of the United States. Okay, so thank Obama for Donald Trump.
Infestación confirmada. Identificación positiva de 115 en la zona. Como era de esperarse, me falla la memoria. Incapaz de determinar la cantidad actual de saltos hasta esta ubicación. 2 al menos, quizá más.
Okay, so it's not just Barack Obama. It's a lot of people in the American political class. They're just soulless robots. Okay, this man is J.D. Vance. He's the vice president for Donald Trump. Like Barack Obama, he wrote a book, a bestseller called Hillbilly Elegy. It's possible he becomes president of the United States as well. Now, you may not know this, but when he first came to prominence, he opposed Donald Trump. He thought that Donald Trump would be a fascist and be a dictator and all that. And then suddenly he changed his opinion and said Donald Trump is the greatest guy in the world. Okay? So these guys, like J.D. Vance and Barack Obama, they have no ideas of their own. They're just puppets. They just tell people what they want to hear. All they know is that. So another example of this man's name is Johnny Kim. Okay? And he'll probably run for president of the United States one day, or at least be a U.S. Senator. Why do I mention him? Guess what, guys? He was a Navy SEAL, which is the top position you can ever achieve in the military. He was a secret soldier, okay? He went to Harvard Medical School to become a doctor. And then he joined NASA to become an astronaut. This is like the ideal Ivy League graduate, okay? This is what Harvard wants. Now, why is he able to do all this? Well, because this is his Wikipedia entry, okay? In 2002, the police went into his house and killed his father. He was there and he saw the police kill his father. He was traumatized for life. His father was a domestic abuser. The father was violent, crazy, hit him all the time. Okay? So he has dissociative disorder. And in fact, if you look at Hitler, was a domestic abuser. The father was violent, crazy, hit him all the time. Okay? So he has dissociative personality disorder. And in fact, if you look at most of these really successful people, they do have dissociative personality disorder. And that's why he was able to do all this, because he turned the trauma into an energy to drive him to greater and greater achievement. The problem, though, is he has no ideas of his own. He's a stupid guy. Okay? So let's conclude and summarize why the meritocracy is so great. It creates this extreme inequality in life. So it destroys the school system because all people care about are their grades. Right? People don't care about learning. All they want are the grades. In fact, if you get a bad grade, you're going to complain to the teacher. In which case, the teacher is not afraid to teach you, because if the teacher tries to challenge you, make you a better student, you'll just complain. Okay? If you don't succeed, your parents will come and complain. Okay? Traumatized children. Okay? If you look at the rate of mental illness in China and America, it's just insane. Death of American dream and social mobility, you're not going to be richer than your parents. You're just not. Concentration of wealth, power, and status in the 1%. The richest cities get richer. Global divide between left and right. Okay, so you have global division right now in America. Corruption. So Wall Street just steals and steals and steals. And no one can do anything about it. Destruction of American identity. Globalization, immigration, woke ideology. Okay. Incompetent mismanagement. Look at COVID. Look at the fact that America now has $37 billion in debt. An elite that is soulless, mediocre, and unimaginative. Okay, Barack Obama, really bad. This guy, Johnny Kim. Okay? They're just robots. Oh, and Donald Trump. Okay, so thank you, American meritocracy, for destroying the world. All right, questions, guys. I know this was a lot to take in, but do you have any questions? They're all depressed and sad and shocked. Yep, we have a question. Thank you.
Is there a way to get rid of
No tiene gracia, Doc. Gira.
Okay, great question, okay? So, the real solution is to destroy the Ivy League, okay? And there are different ways you can destroy the Ivy League. The best way is to make them public.
Informe de situación. El punto de inserción dimensional no era correcto. Llegamos tarde. Richtofen interrumpió la continuidad establecida. Lo que pasa después es incierto. Agentes aliados desaparecidos. No me queda otra opción que continuar la misión solo.
Because Harvard, as you can see, is too powerful, as well as Yale. So, as an individual, your best option is to recognize how evil the system is and choose to learn for yourself, okay? Because when you go to Yale or Harvard or Princeton, you think you're learning, but you're not. You're being
Infestación confirmada. Identificación positiva de 115 en la zona. Como era de esperarse, me falla la memoria. Incapaz de determinar la cantidad actual de saltos hasta esta ubicación. Dos al menos, quizá más.
Okay, so what do I mean by that? Okay, so let me, sorry, let me, okay, so success. What is real success? Well, before meritocracy, you didn't have to go to college, but you need to have certain value and attitude, okay? So the first was to be open-minded. And so recognize that you have a lot to learn and question, learn from other people, okay? And what you recognize was failure is the best teacher. Why? Because failure forces reflection, right? And resilience, which leads to learning. And this is a model that most people understood before the meritocracy. You go online, make mistakes.
Después de fracasar en la obtención de los datos, se desconoce la ubicación actual de los sujetos de pruebas.
And then you can become resilient.
Maldita sea,
And then you grow and grow.
Porque siempre
and you
tienes que
will achieve your
cagarla.
true potential. Okay? The meritocracy has destroyed this system. Why? Because now we just want to focus on grades. Okay? And to get the grade, you cannot fail. You understand? Failure now is a problem. If you fail a class, you may learn a lot from your failure, but it won't look good in your GPA, right? You'll destroy your GPA. And you won't get into Harvard, right? You don't have failure, you cannot have
La carpintería no es tan divertida
resilience.
como reventar
Also,
cosas.
before you have time for yourself. Nowadays, every minute is organized for you, right? You come to school day is very long, then you have lots of time, and then you have activities. Then you have to have dinner, then all that. You don't need time to just think for yourself. You just chill
Los
and
voy
do
a
what you want to do,
expulsar de
okay?
este
It's
planeta,
intentional,
babosas. Buen
okay?
viaje.
So it's destroying reflection, you don't have any resilience, and so you can't learn anything. So it's a really bad system because if you're like me, and you're a little person, your family got very powerful, and you're like going to Harvard, it actually makes you fail in life. Okay, let me explain why. Okay, the first is it makes you arrogant. It makes you think, I went to Yale, if I know more than anyone else, so I don't have to ask questions, I don't have to learn anymore. Okay? Second is that it makes you utilitarian.
Duro con ellos.
You
Acaban
only
de
care about
subirnos el
things that
sueldo.
help you succeed. You're not actually interested in real learning anymore. Okay? And the third thing is all you care about is success. So you're narrow-minded. You don't want to explore. Okay? You're not so graded anymore. So it's a great system if you come from a rich family. Because this system trains you to go to power. But if you're just like me, and you need to work hard and be talented and be committed to your passion in order to succeed, to put the time and effort to learning a real skill and learning a real passion. And so in my 30s, late 20s, early 30s, I became really depressed. And honestly, I thought about killing myself. I was playing video games every single day. I just hid in my parents' basement. And so I was traumatized by it. It took me a long time to get over the trauma and recognize this is a false system. Okay? Yale traumatized me, and I need to relearn to be open-minded, to embrace failure, to be resilient, to embrace learning. Okay? And that's why I'm a teacher today, to teach you guys that to be successful in life, this is a formula. Okay? You don't need all those skills and principles.
Un desafortunado giro de los acontecimientos. La muerte del alemán es lamentable. Me temo que...
All right. Any more questions, guys? Yep.
Well, can we do both, like open-minded and get the grades and being rich?
Okay.
Is it a possible thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna have to go into some psychology here. Okay. But psychologists have discovered that we have two modes of being. Okay. There's the altruistic mode, and there's the utilitarian mode. Okay. Okay. So utilitarian is what we call fight or flight. Okay. Altruistic is just family and connection. So imagine we're back in the village, okay, and most of the time we are, yeah, like you said that psychology is brainwashing. Okay, yes, psychology is not all brainwashing. There's some validity to it, okay? And so I'm not saying this is something fact. I'm just saying this is a good way to understand how things work, okay? All right. All right. So in the village, we spend most of the time being close to other people, right? We want to be friends with other people, so we help each other out. But sometimes we have to be very utilitarian. So, for example, if there's not enough food, okay, or we're being attacked, guess what? Run, man. Okay. So there are these two mindsets, and what psychologists have discovered is they are mutually exclusive. It's either one or the other. The other thing that they discovered is
el punto de inserción dimensional no era correcto. Llegamos tarde. Richtofen interrumpió la continuidad establecida. Lo que pasa después es incierto. Agentes aliados desaparecidos. No me queda otra opción que continuar la misión solo.
No
jodas a un marín.
And like, great. So it is impossible to both want to have really good grades as well as help the world. So what's interesting is Harvard wants that, okay? For your application, you have to say to Harvard, I have a passion. I will die for my passion. But at the same time, I want to be a billionaire. And I will die trying to be a billionaire. At the same time, I know it's important to be loyal to Harvard, so I will die being loyal to Harvard, okay?
Infestación confirmada. Identificación positiva de 115 en la zona. Como era de esperarse. Me falla la memoria. Incapaz de determinar la cantidad actual de saltos hasta esta ubicación. Dos al menos. Quizá más.
Like, come on, guys. You have to apply to Harvard if you're not utilitarian, okay? Right? But you have to pretend you're not. And that's what makes you crazy, okay? Because you're basically an actor. Harvard wants the best actors in the world. They want people to go through like pretending that something they're not. Okay? They want Barack Obama. The problem with Barack Obama is he's soulless. He stands for nothing. Okay? In 2008, he promised people hope and change. The moment he gets in office, he's like, sorry man, I was just joking. Why did you believe me? Okay? Then in 2012, when it was time for re-election, he said, oh, you know what? I want hope and change. Okay? In 2016, he's like, you know what, screw that. I'm going to go water skiing now. Okay? So the man is actually stolen. That's for nothing. Right? No questions, guys.
Después de fracasar en la obtención de los datos.
Okay, great. So thanks for today, and I'll see you guys after the break. Okay? So we'll continue this after the break. Okay, so welcome back from the break. Today I want to talk about the incident that happened in October 2015 at Yale University. What happened was this. Halloween is coming up. And Halloween, people like to dress up silly, get drunk, have a good time. And a university department, or the Intercultural Affairs Committee, sent an email to students saying, it's Halloween, you guys can have fun, that's fine. But please be sensitive about the feelings of other people. So, for example, do not dress up like a panda, because we have Chinese students and they might be offended if you dress up like a panda. And so this email went out to all the students at Yale, and one teacher who worked at a residential college called Silliman. So Yale University divided into dormitories called residential colleges. And he is the dean with her husband of the college called Silliman. And to her students, she writes an email and says that she didn't agree with the university email. She says that a university is a place for you to explore, experiment, and make mistakes. So, yes, be sensitive about the feelings of others, but we push you to make mistakes and to recover from them. Okay? So, the debate was essentially over safe space versus free space. The university said that safe space is important. You must respect the feelings of others. But the dean of Silliman, her name is Erica Kisakis, she believes the idea of free space. So a university is a place for debate, for questioning, for experimentation. And yes, it needs to be heard. That's part of the growing up process, intellectual process. So let me ask you a question. Do you guys agree with number one, who argues for safe space, or number two, Erica Kisakis, who argues for free space? What do you think? Sorry, can you speak to the mic, please? Okay, who disagrees? Who believes it's more important to respect the feelings of others?
It's just a big like without time to really have to like wash the grass and then I think it's
creo que lo voy a vomitar.
Well,
Okay, fine. Any other opinions? Any other opinions? Okay, so you say respect the rules, right?
I think it's
Está bien, bebé, sé que me necesitas. Ahora, en serio, gracias. Ya me daba por muerto.
what I want. But for being a good parent, to feel college, I think they stay with the
Okay, right, but the problem is with practice, okay? If the teachers care about safe space, we cannot have free space. Right? So the question then is, what do you think in principle is more important? Free space or safe space? Okay. Okay, alright, okay. So, yeah, so most students believe safe space is more important. And this marks a generational shift. Because when I was growing up, there's no debate. We just assume that free space is more important because you're not allowed to make mistakes. You're not allowed to explore. You're not allowed to argue about the people. If your students don't get hurt, you will never grow as a person. Okay, so this is not the generational survive or generational gap. Okay, so we're going to look at what happened because of this debate. So the students who read the email were offended that Erica DeSantis was arguing for free space because they believe that by doing this, you're going to hurt our feelings. All right? And so let's look at what happened. And remember, this is Yale University. So what's happening is that when this happened, the festival happened, when it's surrounded by Seattle. And they're been fighting people, right?
You're telling you that you were being racist. You were being offensive. You admitted that you hurt us. Why can't you say sorry?
It's very easy for any freedom world of mine to be misinterpreted. So I'm one at a time. I'm happy to speak to you as much as you. I can't speak as much because I have others who contribute that need time as well. So, unfortunately, a little bit. Okay, so look, I'm not saying which side is correct. Okay, both sides have making a point. Both sides have problems. But you will notice that he, the professor, he's much older than the students. And the students are treating him, you can see their faces, right? They're treating him with some contempt. And that's not appropriate. And when I was growing up, we didn't do this.